I'm going to present our research on job quality perceptions in the context of introducing collaborative robots or cobots into medical device manufacturing. So cobots are smaller and safer robots that have payload and speed limitations. They allow operators to work in parallel while in close physical proximity or even in direct interaction with the cobot. So this is a bit different to other Industry 4.0 technologies that can operate in an automated manner. And instead, cobots complement the operators in inimitable human skills with technical capabilities that can give high accuracy and also the ability to repeat actions with no interruptions. So as Industry 4.0 technologies continue to reshape manufacturing processes, it's becoming more crucial to understand how these changes can impact workers' experiences and perceptions of their jobs. So our study focuses specifically on the planned introduction of cobots in medical device manufacturing, where, as you'd imagine, safety, quality, and efficiency are paramount. So the context, which is actually shown on the screen here, is the Australian facility of a global medical device manufacturer. And we looked at the workers, supervisors, and managers involved in the production of hand-sewn stent grafts that are customised for the aorta of individual patients. At the moment, making these grafts is a very intricate manual process that has some quality and safety risks with it. So as I mentioned, this is a photograph of the current work environment where technicians make these stents by hand. The original aim of this research project was to investigate how a cobotic system can help with the process of soldering and inspecting elements of a stent graft. So we conducted this contextual inquiry at the medical device manufacturer's Australian facility. This type of method is suitable for uncovering implicit details about work practices and also the tacit knowledges that workers build through their own experience. The method includes observing participants at their workplace and inquiring into their actions as they're performing them. So we conducted some interviews with workers, work observations and follow-up in situ interviews, and also some group interviews. The 6 study participants were a team of technicians, their supervisor, the innovation manager, and the senior manufacturing engineer from the facility. So the diagram on the screen shows one of these aortic stent grafts, and the wavy lines are metal wires with small metal beads that are hand soldered onto them. So the workers actually liken their job to the intricate processes of jewellery making. As I mentioned, the data were initially collected to facilitate a pilot project for designing a cobotic intervention to assist with this work. However, during the process, we observed that worker comments highlighted some job quality concerns, which led us to analyse the data through a new lens. So this particular study was guided through the research question, how did medical device manufacturing workers' perceptions of the potential implementation of cobots align with the elements of the OECD job quality framework? We decided to use the OECD job quality framework as our analytical lens because the framework measures and assesses the quality of jobs. It includes 6 dimensions, which are the physical and social environment, job tasks, organisational characteristics, working time arrangements, job prospects, and the intrinsic aspects of a job. So this diagram was drawn by my colleague Stine of what the workstation looks like at the moment for manually soldering the stent graft wires. Our analysis revealed insights across 5 of the 6 dimensions of the OECD job quality framework, the first 2 of which were the physical and social work environment and job tasks. So what we found in relation to the physical and social environment, which in the framework includes physical risk factors like contact with chemicals, loud noises, physical demands, any intimidation or discrimination in the workplace, and the ability to gain support from co-workers if needed. our participants discussed existing risk factors that they faced, including the fear of burns from the soldering iron and also exposure to hazardous vapors from the soldering processes. However, the only risk that they anticipated in addition, through the addition of cobots, was concerns about their physical safety with cobots. So they were a bit unsure of the unknown. One of the technicians asked, are they safe? If something happens, will the robot shut down and stop, or will it go crazy like you see in the movies? So that's something that the designers and managers had to consider when designing a cobotic intervention. So in the job quality framework, the job tasks element includes job characteristics such as work intensity, emotional demands, and task discretion or autonomy. We found that the workers really valued task variation and autonomy. They had several tasks that they were responsible for, and they had strict quality control and safety procedures to make sure those tasks were done correctly. But under present conditions, they had a lot of autonomy in deciding what order to complete those tasks in. They also expressed concerns about the potential boredom or loss of task variety with the introduction of cobots. So one of the technicians said, would my job become boring? Would I just be sitting there and pressing a button and letting the robot do it rather than me actually working on this intricate process myself? The dimensions of organisational characteristics contribute to job quality by including participation, employee voice in decisions that are important for work, good managerial practices, and also things like task clarity and performance feedback. The workers in our study clearly felt they had adequate participation in workplace decisions, and they did feel heard in the decision of whether and how to adopt cobots. Supervisors and managers' comments during our data collection also demonstrated that they cared about workers' perspectives and they cared about what the workers valued within their work. The job prospects element of the framework is measured in surveys as whether people expect to lose their job within the near future, whether they have training and learning opportunities and the opportunities for career advancement. In our study, we found that technicians weren't concerned about losing their jobs if cobots were introduced because they all felt it would increase the organisation's capacity to meet demand, which was already growing. And they felt like their employer and their managers would take care of them and try to retain them in the company, even if there was some elements of automation to their work in the future. The managers also explicitly expressed their commitment to maintaining and elevating workers' skills if cobots were introduced. So intrinsic aspects contributing to job quality include the opportunities for self-realization through work and the intrinsic rewards such as the feeling of a job well done and being recognized by colleagues and managers. We found that insights into the intrinsic aspects of the job were the strongest theme that emerged from the workers in our study. As the quotes on the screen say, they derived meaning from their contribution to the health of those using the product. So they didn't just feel like they were making jewelry or making something that was nice to look at. They knew that they had a role in saving people's lives or giving them better quality of life once these aortic stent grafts were inserted into their hearts. However, they did also express concern that they would lose those intrinsic aspects if cobots were introduced, and that the parts of the work that they found enjoyable, such as one person said the meditative task of threading beads onto wires and soldering them neatly was their favourite thing to do. They were worried that that would be taken away by the cobots and that humans would become button pushers. So interestingly as well, the workers each expressed value or enjoyment in different parts of the work that some others said were boring or tedious. So our findings have several implications for designing and integrating collaborative robotic systems in the future. Firstly, we need to understand that cobots do introduce new physical and psychosocial risk factors specific to manufacturing work beyond just their proximity to workers. It's important to maintain worker autonomy, but it's also not straightforward or consistent to determine which tasks should or could be automated. We also think the successful implementation of cobotic systems depends on both technical constraints and the system's ability to adapt to the needs and preferences of individual workers. In conclusion, the job quality literature shows clear links to workers' health, quality of life, and productivity and efficiency gains for organisations. This study extends the job quality literature by applying it to medical manufacturing and exploring workers' reflections on potential changes due to cobot introduction. Our research highlights the importance of considering job quality dimensions when planning cobot implementation. So while we know that cobots offer potential efficiency and quality improvements, it's crucial to balance those benefits with workers' needs for meaningful, varied, and autonomous work. Future research should look at job quality dimensions being integrated more explicitly into the designing and planning of cobots to ensure that workers can articulate all of their relevant concerns and questions. Thank you for your attention, and I'm happy to take any questions either now or after all of them, whatever you usually do in these sessions. Thanks.